How's it going, YouTube? Back again with another market analysis for the London session. This will be our last one for the week. We have had a lot of volatility here on the markets. S&P 500, oil, gold definitely has been a lot, even NASDAQ. But we'll just pay attention to the basic three today on this market analysis. And we'll look to try to trade these levels for the London session. So let's take a look at what we have so far on the S&P 500. Take a look at actually where we were at today when we traded. We'll do it here on this 10 tick like we usually do. We'll take a look at some of the levels. You guys can see here 66 to maybe about 70 to 71 is was our actual resistance area. We did pop above it. Actually, let me put an extended or a horizontal line here real quick. We did pop above it here into maybe about 80. That was the price that we were trying to get for the day, and then we started to move down from there. So what we're probably going to be doing is we're probably going to be looking for during the London session, we'll see if this resistance here right around the 29.51 holds strongly, and if it does, then we'll go ahead and try to take it down from there. Now this one was pretty strong all day. We had a micro move up, and then as soon as we hit that 80, we started to collapse again back into the downtrend. Just want to pay attention to this because the bigger picture of this whole thing is we are still in a massive downtrend. So S&P 500 still has the capability of pulling down more. We were trading somewhere above the 3000s, and you can see we actually dropped as low as 29.25. So definitely a lot of downward movement. I would say if you're trying to buy that thing back up, just be cautious. There is opportunity for it, and we do take micro moves to the upside, but we understand that the bigger picture is going to be a strong bearish or downward trend that we'll be in. Now we're moving sideways a little bit. Sideways a little bit. Again, we're trying to see if we'll get that 29.51. But if it breaks right through, then we do again have our resistance up above at 29.66 to about 70. That's what we're looking for. And again, markets could move as high as the 80s if they get the opportunity to. So we're just going to watch out for that. Now, if I throw up some studies, we'll see exactly what we're looking at. VWAP is still overhead. You guys see that dark purple line. And we're kind of in between, just bouncing around. I would say let this thing gradually pull to the upside. If we can get that 51, then we're going to try to target some rotations there. Again, we're going to want to see the market gradually pull into that area, hold this trend line if it can, and pop back up over here. Now, if it does do that, then we'll get the opportunity to try to short that, but just a matter of letting it move around. I wouldn't want to try to play right in this area. I would wait till it comes back over here. And there's reasons behind it. One, this was a strong level of support. So it could potentially act as a strong level of resistance. Want to wait for that price action movement if we get it. But if you're trying to play right in here, this is where it can kind of get a little bit choppy because you're going to play right in that middle of the range. So just be a little bit cautious for it. Not saying that it can't move down or it can't move up. It's just a little bit of a struggle. Now, taking a look at what we're looking here, if you're looking for more of a downward movement, well, it's because we broke that trend line. So if we can't get above it, yes, this is going to be your opportunity to short that back into 29.25 for a move down. Everything overhead, open, previous day low, the VWAP, the moving averages are starting to go overhead. So this actually may be a good opportunity to start to move that down into the 29.25. You'll have to try to catch it. It's already moving. So during the London session, we'll see how we bounce off this area if we do get down to this area right here. But we're hitting that open right now and probably try to press into this volume cluster that's targeted right there. So we'll see if S&P can try to get down there. Really not going to try to catch that right now just because it's already moving and there's really no entry. Not enough price action movement there. Let's take a look at a 4 tick, see what we can get on that 4 tick movement. See if we got those rotations in this area. So looking at a 4 tick on this S&P 500, you can see our level was up here and we targeted this area for some resistance here. 1, 2 rotations, and we had a third one right at the very bottom of that zone, and then we tried to come back up and it failed it again, right? If we had that trend line, you could see when we collapsed and broke it. If you didn't get the opportunity here, then when it pulled back, you could have the opportunity there. But when you're looking at everything else that goes hand in hand with it, you can see everything was pushing this thing up, and then as we broke that trend line, you can see how the market started to go over. The VWAP was already overhead anyway. We had a lot of resistance coming in there. Previous day low came over, the open was over, previous day close. Again, that VWAP, that point of control, everything was overhead, and that's why you see a drop down into our level. Maybe even 2025 is where we're going to try to target for tonight on the move down, and maybe even past that. But you can see how strong that bearish movement is going to be, especially once we break this open. We're probably going to see a lot more downside there, right past that overnight low if we can. And if we can, we'll use that overnight low as a slight pullback resistance and try to push that down a little bit more. So we'll let that play out. Let's take a look at gold as well. That's the levels we're going to probably be looking at for S&P for tonight. Let's take a look at gold, see what else we got here. Gold, you can see we have this purple. I didn't make it green again because I'm not really looking to try to fade this, but gold is in a strong downward trend as well. So we might pull up from this level, but we're still a little bit below it. Don't have enough information to say, you know what, it's a good idea to go long yet. You want to see this thing come back up. So it's going to look something along the lines of this. We'll throw an arrow up there. We're going to break up and hopefully get some price action rotations here to bounce. What we're looking for is that bounce to hold that structure, and then we can do a micro move back up. But the long term, we are in a strong bearish move as well on this gold chart that we see. So our target level for resistance is going to be those 48 to maybe 50, as high as 50. And then from there, we'll look for some rotations to hold that level. If we can hold that level there, then again, we'll try that downside. But if we break above it, if we do something along the lines of breaking it through it, then we'll see if we can come back, hold that level as some support, and then we'll go back up from there. All right, so a lot of different opportunities. Those are where the what if statements come in, and when we get to those areas, doesn't mean you're going to get perfect entries, but allowing price action to create the structure within these levels are going to be your best opportunity of trade. So that's what we're looking at on that 10 tick. Let's look at the 4 tick for gold as well, see how those levels are holding up. So again, we are coming back a little bit above it, but we want to see a strong press through this level. We don't want to just see what we see right now. Let me see if I can scroll this over to the right a little bit. We want to see a strong push through this actual level, not this little slight pop its head above. We want to see it break that level, come back, and start to use that level. Now, if we get an opportunity to hold it, then we'll get that upside movement. Now, actually, before I move on, let's look at the studies on this one here. Unhide the studies, and you can see everything starting to round out and come as that actual support underneath, except for the VWAP. The VWAP is right above it, so we don't want to try to what did I do here? Oh, there you go. We don't want to try to take it past that VWAP. If you're going to try to do a move up, you're going to try to move it into the VWAP itself. You can see some strong resistance coming just in that general area. So I would probably take that profit a little bit before. But again, you'll have to see that price action rotations at this level first and start to fail. So you can do 1 or 2 try failure and then up to the VWAP itself. And then you can try that upside of the resistance too. Let's actually take a look closer on that 4 tick, see what the studies look like on the 4 tick as well. Alright, so you guys can see what we're looking for, but let's look at what it looks like on this 4 tick for some opportunities. The moving averages are coming in underneath, and you can see how they're turning green, giving us an, I wouldn't say it's, yeah, it's something like a signal, meaning that the buying strength is coming in. Not that you want to always use this as a signal to try to get in, but the moving averages help you understand when the sellers are coming in strong and when the buyers are actually taking over. Right, so you can see this VWAP, and we might try to test it. Gold usually likes to try and test the VWAPs itself, but we'll have to see some failure in this area. A couple tries and then up to the VWAP, and our resistance up above is between 48 to 50, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at. Keep in mind, if we break through that level, again, we'll look for some support right at the resistance to go long from there. If we don't, our next what if statement is going to be something along the lines of hold that level, fail it, let everything come overhead. So, you can qualify it with whatever you want, but you're going to want something along the lines of, pivot overnight high. Maybe the VWAP starts to round out over the actual market price, right? Maybe it starts to come over. If it's underneath at that point and everything's leaning to the upside, I'd be very cautious on trying to take that to the downside from there, because you're going to have a lot of support holding that, right? By the time we come up, we might have that point of control here, the VWAP underneath, the moving averages underneath, and the only thing holding that down would be your pivot and your overnight high. So you want to be careful with trying to go down to the downside right in this resistance area with everything underneath that actual market, right? Let's take a look at oil real quick here. For the London session, you can see oil is in a strong downtrend. Guys, I actually didn't trade oil but maybe 2 or 3 times this week, but you can see the structure follows really well. Even doing a simple trend line as you start to go into this downtrend to capture that move back down to get your best opportunities. That's something we go over in TRADEPRO Academy too, is how you can use this specific trend line to give you the best opportunity to capture the trend direction type of trade versus going against it. Right? The initial thought when you're trading and when you're new is, you know what, the market has to stop here. I'm going to try to fade this back against it or go against the grain. And that's naturally how you think, especially in the beginning, because you don't necessarily know what to look out for. You don't know the specific levels, how to draw levels, what the price action would look like in order to build the structure. So all of that kind of falls in line with, trading itself. I would say a lot of it's psychological, and at the same time you need to know how to do a correct technical analysis on it. If you don't, you're going to mess yourself up emotionally, and then you're going to start trading your own emotions versus actually trading markets. I think for any new trader, that's what they do in the beginning, because they don't really know how to do a good technical analysis, what to really look for. And there's a lot of people out there that don't really teach really well, or don't want to teach you how to actually trade because maybe they don't know how. But you want to follow your technical analysis, your process, and then from there allow the market, to structure itself out before you look to try to trade all the random chaos in the markets. Because if you fail, then you're going to hold on to those failures a lot more than you hold on to actual winners, and you're not really going to understand how consistency works in markets. So focus on the process. If you guys do trade, if you guys do want to learn how to trade, again, come and visit us at TRADEPRO Academy. I'm always there in the London session going over these trades with people, trading and actually teaching at the same time with the group coaching. But back to what we were saying, oil, we have some resistances here, 46.83 to about 47.02 at the very top. Actually, there's one big peak up above, but we are just continually moving down, so you don't really see it coming back to structure levels too often. You can see we went down and we couldn't come all the way back up, but here we did. We came back up, we double topped, and then we moved back down from there. And you get a strong pullback here for a micro trend. And from there it fails it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and it comes back down. Right, so we're looking at maybe a closer one between 46.53 to about 46.34. That's where we're holding, and there could be something a little bit lower at about 45.98. But we'll see about that one. It didn't really give us too much yet. We'll look at the 4 ticks, see if we get some rotations, but this does look like it's very, very weak. The support there is very, very weak, so we might start to see a move down. Let's take a look at a 4 tick here real quick, see what we got on there. You can see how much rotations we actually have on this 4 tick here. Actually, you know what? Let me pull this back over, pop up these studies for you guys so you guys can see. So unhide this. Ooh, everything is overhead on this analysis here. So you get the VWAP, you get the moving averages overhead, you have the open. The only thing kind of holding this up is the overnight low, and you don't get the S1 up until 45.25. So you might have some good opportunity if you can get it right at 45.98. You might start to see some good opportunity to trade. If you want to be more on a conservative side, 46.06. Right, the reason that you want to target something like that, if you want to be real conservative, is you can see the actual volume nodes sticking out right here. Right, so that would be an opportunity for you guys to take if you guys want to try something like that. But I would say we're probably going to be looking out right in this general area between maybe 85 to about 95 is going to be our first opportunity to try to short. But everything is overhead, so we might have some strong movement to the downside. Let's take a look at a 4 tick before we close this up. Again, 45.98, you can see how that's working out right now. You got some rotations right at that level. Not sure if we'll get a full pullback into those 46.34s to 56s, but we do have some resistance holding this level right now. So you can see we put up that S1 level, 45.25. Let's put up the studies here real quick so you guys see what's falling in line. Now the move is the 200-day moving average and that 50 moving average is kind of coming in between. So we're holding some support here, but VWAP is still overhead. So we're going to look at this area right here, 45.98, and if we can get a couple rotations, some might say, you know what, you might want to try right over here, but it's all up to you guys how you guys would want to do it. Actually, let me try to put a horizontal line here. Some would say try to short it right here, 45.92. And you could try. I mean, there's not too much of a risk. Ideally, if you're looking for some type of trade, you're going to look something like this, guys. You're going to look for it to pull up into that area as resistance and hold it. Notice how it just kind of pops its head right there, but it comes right back and it's very weak. Right, so you want to see it hold this level, and if it fails to go up and the VWAP starts to come down, then we're going to target that downside, right? But if we break through the level, something like that, and we come back and we start to use this level with the point of control holding it, then we'll target the VWAP. So it's all a matter of the price action coming right in between this level right here and showing us what it wants us to do. All right, so that's the levels we have for S&P 500 for gold and for oil. Again, if you guys did like these videos, go ahead and click that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for everyone in here that has subscribed already. Appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us here at TRADEPRO Academy. Or you can email me at david@tradeproacademy.com. Also, if you guys have any questions and you don't want to go through that route, you can just type them in here on the YouTube channel. I can go ahead and answer you guys there. But other than that, you guys take care. Have a good night. Again, this will be the last one for the week, and then we'll go ahead and start it up again next week. We usually do trade the gaps on Sunday, but I don't really do too much videos on there. But we'll see if I put up another video for that one. You guys take care. Have a good night.